Alright guys, welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. So in December, we're going to get some new cards that are more likely going to be based off the Marvel Rivals collab. We've seen the leaks towards who's actually coming. While we don't know exactly how they look or what they do, I thought it'd be a fun video to go out my way to design 5 cards that have unique abilities that we're going to share in today's video. Because I thought it'd be a fun idea. Why not? We don't normally get characters leaked and not have the abilities so soon before they come out. So I thought it'd be a fun video to do. Alright, so here are the 5 new cards that are more likely going to be coming. We have Bruce Banner Hulk, Doom 2029, Galacta, Rocket and Groot, Peni Parker, and Luna Snow. I gotta say 3 quick disclaimers. 1, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, then do subscribe. We are doing a challenge on the channel where we're gonna hit 1K subs by the end of the year. Then we'll continue uploading Marvel Snap. Also, I do realize the way I'm gonna go about editing the video is gonna look real in comparison to like other videos you may have seen. It's just the way I like to edit my videos, so it looks better for when you're actually watching it. These cards aren't actually in game. And in 3 is let me know what you think these cards will actually do. So let's just jump in towards the first character being, I guess, Bruce Banner, which probably likely will be the Season Pass card. Okay, so for Bruce Banner the Hulk, this might be the Season Pass card because they normally like to make like the most iconic character that everyone knows, the Season Pass character. And Bruce Banner the Hulk would be quite a good fit for that little bit. And the way I've designed this character is very in theme of how he actually plays in Marvel Rivals. Not to say they have to copy exactly what they do in Marvel Rivals, because you'll see later on, we don't really do that with the other cards, but I think a lot of people would agree that he's got to transform. It's Bruce Banner. He's got to transform into the Hulk. It's the most iconic part about the character. So I saw a bunch of other designs online that is very similar towards this. But, you know, him transforming into the Hulk would be just kind of boring. He's got to do something else. And if you don't know how he plays in Marvel Rivals, what he does do is he transforms into the Hulk. And then 2 of his abilities is that he can jump, do a massive leap, and also stun. I think they call it Exile in that game. So that's basically what we've done for this actual Hulk right here. When you fill this location, transform into the Hulk, move to another location, and then remove the text of a random enemy card. Once again, doing what he does in Marvel Rivals, he's gonna jump to another location and essentially stun, you know, the character or a random enemy card, which will of course remove the text of an enemy card, which is, I think, completely fine. We already have Red Guardian does that. This one's obviously a lot more RNG because you have to play it more likely later on in the turn. It's also not the lowest power card, like how obviously Red Guardian does it, and also it could jump to a location that doesn't even have a card there. Low RNG, but I guess the big prize is that, of course, does transform into the Hulk, which will be a different variant of Hulk. The main reason why is because I imagine down the road they'll likely do some sort of, you know, token card where you change the variant for Bruce Banner, and it also changes the Hulk's actual appearance. So because of that, he most likely needs to be a different token card rather than the original Hulk. And also, I guess to make it a little bit worse, because a 3 cards that then summons a 12 card that also removes the ability of attacks might be too powerful. But then again, they just dropped Surtur, and he's what, a 317, so maybe him being 12 power wouldn't be too bad. Hulks always have to be massive, so he's got to be at least above 10 power. That's literally what he said with She-Hulk when she was 9 power and he buffed her up. You know, Hulks are massively powerful. And yeah, I'd love to see the animation in game of him jumping, slamming to the ground, shaking up the location a little bit, and then stunning a random card. It'll be pretty sick. I guess it's also very possible that they won't do a transform mechanic, but instead just do like Bruce Banner as a solo character, because in Marvel Rivals he does just have like a grenade that he can throw, which could be some sort of like on reveal affliction type ability, to where it might actually buff up and be somewhat usable in the actual high evolutionary deck a little bit. So there's a few ways to go about doing it, but I actually really do like this one, and probably one of my favorite design cards out with this video today. So that is Bruce Banner. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so Doom 2029, this ain't gonna happen. It might be too broken, and I believe Marvel Snap hasn't really ever done a card that buffs up an other card outright. With this one, you know, if you have to use him, you have to have obviously Doom in your team. But you know, playing him out on turn 5 and then going in towards obviously Doom in turn 6, or maybe you get Doom out a little bit earlier, you know, the original Doom, and you can then buff him up on the final turn, and you could buff him up like Patreon, like Mystique. It could get out of control a little bit, but you know, they just dropped a like $100 Doom pack, and we're supposed to get another Doom next month. I'd like to think that you can probably still use Doom with Doom, so I thought this would be a good way of doing it to, you know, buff up the Doom bots a little bit. It is ongoing, so you can steal it, because you'll normally get this out on turn 5, so you can just, you know, Enchantress it a little bit, and you might be playing it in a lane where you have a bunch of the, you know, ongoing abilities that you can just remove. But yeah, I obviously don't see this ever happening, but I just wanted to bring it up to say, hey, he's probably going to likely work with Doom bots, or have some sort of, you know, card synergy around the Doombots. I personally don't know what he actually does and if he needs to be rolled around Doombots, so let me know in the comments below if you read the comics and he does some sort of ability that would work well towards Marvel Snap. But this one I thought was a pretty simple one, plus I wanted to have at least one ongoing in today's video. Alright, so we have Galacta. Now, I want to keep it in theme a little bit towards what Galactus does, but if we got another Galactus, that'd be too broken a little bit. Imagine 2 people that can destroy locations, like actually locations, that'd be too much. So I thought, you know what's the best way to destroy locations without actually destroying them, and that is just ruining the actual ability. So her actual on reveal is 4/7 because you more likely have to have a reason to play her, and I think destroying locations might not be the most enticing ability, but who knows how it would work. But your on reveal, ruin adjacent locations, not the ones she's played at. So if you play in the middle, you're then going to remove the left and right ones, and of course the ruin locations are just, you know, nothing basically. Would this be a good ability? I think so. I guess I wouldn't mind it in the game. It's just, I think for Galacta, I want something a bit more spicy, a bit more unique a little bit, to where it's just something better to play around with. Because the two fellas, I probably wouldn't use her, and I would like to use her, so I kind of want her to have a better ability. But I thought, you know what, it makes sense towards what the character does. Maybe, I actually don't know what she does. I just assume she has similar powers towards Galactus. But you know what, I think we go back and look at Legion. He was a character that a lot of people say was going to be very, very good, but no one kind of knew how powerful he was actually going to be because, you know, location control is very, very powerful. And removing 2 of the 3 locations with 1 ability and a 4/7 that you actually just don't mind playing on curve is pretty powerful. So I think this character could actually work quite well. Plus, if she ever goes meta, you can just Cosmo in the middle lane, just because you know she's probably likely to be played there. But regardless, let me know what you think of this card. Would you want this in a game? I wouldn't mind it, but I wouldn't want her to be it, I think, personally. Okay, so Rocket and Groot, I'm actually looking forward to, because at least in Marvel Rivals, until Jeff got revealed, I was actually maining Groot a little bit and also Rocket. So, you know, I actually do like his characters. Plus, I think, like, comic-wise, they're the only comics that I actually own. So I'm very much looking forward towards them. So I wanted to give them ability that's, like, very similar towards what the Guardian Galaxies already do a little bit, but, you know, make them good, because only Rocket is basically usable right now. So what he does do is ongoing, steal 2 power from each enemy card played here, which, and yeah, I guess, like, the animation, depending on how long it can take to do it, but, like, Groot is stealing the power and Rocket is afflicting him with -2. And, you know, it makes sense, I think, toward Guardian of the Galaxy a little bit. Like, I actually could see this being a real card in the game. And stealing 2 power, you know, you play him on turn 2, they're more likely not to play there, which then might give you more benefit to use other Guardian characters, because you could then just, like, play them at other locations. At least then it's 50-50. And I guess, if anything, it is a 2-cost card, and it's also ongoing, so you could obviously play Jean Grey, then they're forced to play there, and you're also getting 4 power each turn, because every time you play a card. Plus, also, it's not limited to 1 per turn. They might need to change that a little bit, but also, I guess, if you play, like, an Angela, playing this would absolutely kill a little bit, especially, like, Kitty Pryde. I don't know, I think it could work in game, and once again, with obviously, you know, Agent Venom, yeah, I think it'd work in a game. I wouldn't mind it. I think there's, like, one of the 2 cards, like him and also the Hulk, that, you know what, I can see being in the game and would actually be pretty powerful. Alright, so Peni Parker, one card I am very much looking forward to, because I really like how she played in Marvel Rivals, but also because it is a spider person, so she's more likely to be a move card, and I'm a bit of a move main, so yeah, get any more move cards would be pretty cool. I wanted at least 1 activate for today's video, so, you know, she could just be an on reveal that does the same ability. But yeah, on reveal or activate, move 2 cards here, 1 location towards the right. As an activate, you could get a lot of freaky with it, to where you can play, like, you know, very much like Aranya, you can play Spider-Man 2029 on her location, move Spider-Man out with also, let's say, like a Vulture, or you play something crazy, like on the lines of, like, having, you know, Heimdall, to where you move them all to left. She now has, like, 4 cards in the location. You then move 2 out, and then maybe move it to, like, a Hercules lane, and jumping all around the place. Like, you could get really, really crazy on, like, the final turn with this ability. But I also thought, okay, you know what, we did have Hellcow, who activate, you know, discarded 2 cards in your hand. So I thought, okay, you know what, let's do that. Plus, I really want a good 4-cost move card. I think with Hercules, they did talk about the fact that he wouldn't have a good 4-cost move card because they haven't done that. But it's very hard to make a 4-cost move card. You know, if you remember, Spider-Man 2029 was a 4/6, but no one played him. But when he got buffed up, it became a little better because he actually had power. So, you know, 4/6, a good body, and it also moves 2 cards, so you can move, like, actual power around. And that could be kind of crazy a little bit. So, yeah, Peni Parker, does she have to be a move card? Not necessarily. In Marvel Rivals, she does have traps. So you could literally make something up where she's, like, doing, like, mines on the field, and if they do something, they get you know, a debuff. In fact, what I actually originally designed was the Rocket and Groot ability that was going to be her ability. But as I thought about it, I also thought, okay, you know what, that ability is a little more suited towards Rocket and Groot. Also, I did make her based off, you know, the Spider-Verse variant of her, which more likely won't be the card we actually get, like in terms of like appearance-wise. It's just, that's like the only arc we had of her. And I didn't want to use Marvel Rivals artwork because it doesn't look as good. At least in a card form. I don't know. All right, and in this one's a pretty simple cop out a little bit, but I also saw some other designs, and it was very similar a little bit. So, Iceman is a card. On reveal, adds +1 to a random card in your opponent's deck. So, I wanted to keep that theme a little bit of having ice powers. In like the same way that, like, you know, spider people move around, the way that sword characters typically discard people. So, for a freeze character, she's going to do something similar to what Iceman actually does. And could it be a good ability? Maybe. It's a 3/5, so you wouldn't mind just playing it anyway, and you're probably going to annoy the actual opponent very, very much. So what she does do is, on reveal, increase a card in your opponent's hand by the cost of a random card here, or random enemy card. So if they have a 3-cost card down, you would then target that 3-cost card, and it then will apply 3+ power towards a random enemy card. Only one card, I doubt they do multiple, because that might be a bit too broken. But, you know, it has got card play. If she becomes ever too meta, you can just bring Mobius to kind of counter a little bit. But, you know, going into towards time 4, if you wanted to play a 4-cost card, or even a 5-cost card, if you cheat out some energy, you won't be able to do that if you did target a 3-cost card to where maybe your 4 or 5-cost card is now gone to 6. It is definitely a powerful ability. You know, we've all played Marvel Snap. We have had times where the Iceman does ruin your play because it increases one of your cards by 1. Imagine them doing that up to 3 or maybe even 4 because you play on like a later turn. It can kind of get crazy. So that is, yeah, let us know. Let me know what you think. All right, so that's going to wrap up today's video. A second reminder, if you have made it towards the end, to subscribe towards the channel so we can get closer towards 1K subs. But yeah, honestly, really, really fun making this video. I love how it actually looks on screen now. I really like making stuff look real in game. Once again, not for the purpose of misleading people, just for the fact that it looks sick for a video. I just like putting the effort in towards it. But yeah, I am very much looking forward towards December, which is kind of why I'm getting towards Marvel Snap content creation, because we have some juicy cards like the whole Doom, Galacta, Rocket, and Peni Parker, and even Lunar Snow. We got a pretty solid lineup to where I'm definitely, regardless of what the characters actually do, going to be picking up all the cards because I actually like the appearances and, you know, like the characters themselves. In terms of the designs that I've done, you know, Bruce Banner is one of my favorites. Groot and Rocket, well, I mind it in game. That's something I can actually see being playable in game. And at least in terms of like what I'm looking forward to, more might be Peni Parker, just because she's more likely to be a move card. She might not be, who knows, but most spider people actually are, and her grappling around the field a little bit could be very, very fun. To be fair, I wouldn't mind if they even make her like an actual move card, like where she moves and she does something, rather than being an enabler. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and yeah.